there, this is Savvy Tech Grandma. Join me as my son is attempting to replace an HP Envy laptop keyboard for his friend. What could possibly go wrong? We thought this would be a quick 15 to 20 minute job. I mean, some laptops only need a little cover popped off and voila, you got yourself a shiny new keyboard. Yeah, that's not this laptop. As you can see, it required amped up hydration for the task. Nope, this laptop was designed by someone who really wanted you to appreciate every component inside. We're talking full disassembly, removing the back cover, hard drive, RAM, wireless network card, USB ports, speakers, the works. At this point, we're basically performing open heart surgery on a toaster. This seemingly simple project ended up taking 6 hours to complete. The video has been pared down to less than half an hour. I speeded it up for the sake of holding your interest. Oh, and surprise! It's not just the keyboard. We also have a hinge situation. Actually, not even the hinge. The mount for the hinge is broken. Because why fix one thing when you can fix two things at the same time? Normally, when you are going to do a repair like this, it's a good idea to look up a take-apart video so you know what to expect. We could not find a take-apart video for removing the keyboard on this model, so we're winging it. Okay, first we remove all the screws from the back, then pry it open with this tiny plastic tool. Look at this tape job. We're supposed to believe this tape is holding together a $1,000 laptop? The hinges had to be manually pried open to release them. Is this a fan or a dust farm? Looks like it's been cooling a vacuum cleaner. Now the tedious process of removing all the components from the system one by one. If you decide to do something like this yourself, be sure to keep the screws organized so you know which screws go back with which components. He removed the hard drive, screws first and then the ribbon cable. He removed the heatsink, motherboard, and other components altogether, but removes the fan as well as the module with USB ports and card readers separately. The next obstacle faced was that the metal plate that separates all the components from the touchpad and keyboard was not screwed down. It had 1,000 little plastic rivets holding it. Who designed this monster? Well, someone clearly wanted to make sure this keyboard never sees the light of day again. So the rivets had to be tediously removed one by one. And the plate then had to be pried away with metal pry tools. Separating the top from the bottom made it more convenient to work away at more of the little tiny plastic rivets. After what seemed like hours, my son is basically ready to declare himself a professional rivet remover. His dream job. Using the metal pry tools, he broke away any of the remaining plastic rivets and separated the metal plate from the keyboard. There was a tape adhesive that also adhered the keyboard to the metal plate. It came off partly on the old, now dilapidated keyboard and partly on the metal plate. Notice that the part number for the keyboard is on the bottom, so you would have had to remove everything to find out what that part number was if you couldn't find it online. The new keyboard is put in place, but before resetting the metal plate, that old adhesive had to be removed. Time to bring out the torch. Yep, he's using a torch on a computer. The metal plate is put back over the keyboard. When you have no plastic rivets to secure the plate, super glue comes to the rescue, using a hack of adding isopropyl alcohol to make it dry faster. New hinges were secured to that part of the body. During the process, there was a tongue-in-cheek discussion about the computer possibly getting a virus from the human who momentarily put screws in his mouth to hold them. The motherboard with components was replaced and screwed down, cables reattached. He replaces the fan and the USB port card reader component. Hard drive is next to go back in. Speakers are reinstalled. On to hinge replacement. The old hinges are removed. The monitor is separated from the case. The new hinges are already attached to the bottom and just need to be reattached to the top case. There's just a slight problem. The bracket the hinge attaches to on one side has broken away from the case. There was an effort to reassemble it the way it was, but the hinges were binding, so the case was removed again. Let's listen in to the explanation of what comes next.
I got Jesse's permission to screw it up the right way now.
Solder?
Whatever you think is best.
What are you going to do?
Make this how it should have been.
Which was metal and metal?
Yeah, sturdy.
How are you going to do that?
Very carefully.
Very
carefully.
Oh. So explain to me what you're going to do.
I intend on showing you
Oh, okay.
while I explain it, because this is custom work now. Because you can't buy the case for this computer. They only sell it with the rest of the computer inside it.
Right.
So, we're gonna do what HP should have done all along.
Bring out the torch again. The idea was to heat up the piece and reattach it to the case, but it didn't stick. Okay, then let's solder it. Nope, those two metals won't stick to each other. So finally, since it's an older system, 2017 model, there's no warranty left. The owner doesn't care what it looks like, just wants it to function properly. Okay, it's time to go old school and use screws to attach the hinges to the case. Note, each bracket holding the hinges on the HP Envy had only been secured to metal at one point, making them vulnerable to breakage and difficult to repair. The back cover screws are replaced. We finally have a functioning keyboard and hinges. It powers up and types. And that, my friends, is how you almost burn down your house, glue your fingers together, and still win. I was not allowed to clean the screen. It must be a guy thing. Even with the screws in the case, it looks much better than being taped together and leaning on one side. I can honestly say that we did nothing wrong. This system was just really poorly designed. Replacement of parts might be something you want to consider before choosing your next laptop. Do you have any nightmare stories about repairs that didn't go as planned? Drop them in the comments. Be sure to check out the Savvy Tech Grandma website. Check out my other video on upgrading the RAM on a gaming tower. And if you want to see us repair more gadgets, hit the subscribe button. There are links for some of the tools we used in the description. Thanks for watching.